Joining us are two people, actually. Andrew Rivers, my son, the comedian, who's just exploding on the internet right now. Also, a radio gal, Emily McGuire, who I have an interesting backstory to. Way back, years ago, my electrician, good friend of mine, said his niece was interested in radio. And Emily came in and was a backstage pass guest on her Seattle show. You remember that, Spike?
You know, I honestly didn't until you reminded me last week, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I looked, I Googled you, Emily, and I'm like, oh yeah, this I remember now, given the prompts, because that was a lot of weed I went through, Bob. You got to admit.
Anyway, Emily rose to really a top major market position, not only as a producer of a radio show in San Diego, but she became co-host. In fact, the show had your name in it the last few years, right?
It did, yeah, for the last 4.
And it was called Emily and Some Other Twits, right? I'm not sure what the exact name is.
Nailed it.
That's how she feels right now. Because, like it happens to a lot of people in radio, she's been... she's on the beach, which in San Diego could just mean it's the afternoon, but in her case...
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Emily, we're going to talk to you in a little bit, but first, because we now have a bigger room full of people, let's bring on Andrew Rivers.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Hello.
Yeah.
It is. Well, it's nice to virtually meet you, Emily. I love hearing these stories because I'm filled with pride of how many people that my dad has inspired. You know, just going backstage and watching him, you were like, oh, I can do that. That's not that hard. You know, so it's a beautiful story.
I was like, what happened to Andrew? He's being nice to me.
Well, yeah, I feel like I gotta ease up on you a little bit. You know, take it. You've been in the hospital for a few days, but you're coming back strong. So,
yes, and thank you for visiting me. By the way, I know you're very busy. You know, updating your social media, tweeting, doing all the things you have to do.
Sure.
And I'm not recording video because I look and feel like shit. But
that's all right.
We'll start that next time. Yes, the fact that I saw you 3 days in a row, I don't know how often that has happened, even when you were a kid.
Well, you moved across the country to avoid me, so, you know, it's partly your fault. But no, it is good to spend time with you and, you know, with the health and stuff. I've been keeping a positive attitude just because I feel like, I mean, anyone who's been in the car with you would know it's a miracle you've lived this long. So this is bonus time at this point.
Sure. But enough about your daddy issues. How is Andrew?
Good.
No,
Speaking
you're
inspiring.
I mean, seriously,
careers.
you're exploding online with millions and millions of views every week now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty proud of. Can you tell people a little bit about how it works these days and? You know, how all of this is happening.
Sure. Well, the internet, you know, you know, when you were a kid, there were 6 channels or you know, how was it back then?
If you happened to live in a big city, yes.
Yeah, when you moved the dinosaur antlers to the left, you tuned into NBC or something like that.
That's right.
Flintstones, yeah.
But now you can, yes, yeah. Now you can just post and depending on the quality of the content sometimes, or the algorithm gods, it can go out to a wider audience. And so, you know, just I listen to this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's sort of, I describe him as Jim Cramer, but with social media sites. Like, he's like, Facebook's hot, post on Facebook right now. Or he'll, you know, YouTube is big. And so back in July, I filmed a special in July 2021 and recorded an album, and then I had just decided to post it on the internet, and then in July it got about 10 million views on YouTube, and we're at about 8 million views on Facebook right now. So, but it's interesting because it's all in 60-second chunks. You know, the full special only has about 100,000 views.
Isn't that part of today that people consume stuff in smaller chunks? Just as a rule online, that nobody wants to sit and watch an hour. Yeah.
And that is true. And it also is, it's a good marketing strategy. If you're running an ad during the Super Bowl for a 90-minute movie, you wouldn't show the whole movie. You would show like a 60-second highlight reel to potentially get people interested in the full thing, maybe. But yeah, it is a way to advertise the special, and but it's pretty cool. I'm very popular as long as people don't have to leave the house. So that's what I've discovered. Come on, folks. But yeah, it's good. And then the album was submitted to the Grammys, and so that's an interesting process. Where
how did that happen?
Wow.
Well, if you get enough views, they take you seriously. So
I see.
the label just
wait a minute. Someone had to look at how you're doing on social media, listen to the stuff, and say, "Let's put this." Because you're up there with some. You're being submitted for consideration for a nomination, right? Which is a first step.
Right. So my label gets to choose 5 of their own albums to pick. And so I was one of the 5, along with Dave Chappelle, Patton Oswalt, and a bunch of nobodies, really.
You'll easily kick their ass. That's no problem.
Norm Macdonald. That guy's, what's he ever done? So I think I got a good chance. But
it's still it's an honor.
I think I have to get nominated because, the email was very confusing, and I kind of thought I was already nominated, and so I already sent a bunch of angry letters to all my previous comedy clubs and a bag full of dog shit I left on the doorstep. And but it would be an honor just to be nominated, because I would love to just ruin someone's trivia night 10 years from now. Name the 2023 Grammy nominees, and then be like, what the fuck? Who's Andrew Rivers? And going
Andrew,
well.
are you practicing your "I lost, but it's okay" face when the camera's on you and when they hand the award to Chappelle or posthumously to McDonald?
I'm used to that when girls I date go on to national television fame, and
you got that. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Clap. Yeah, that's the greatest.
Yeah, I am used to losing out. But it'll be fun. Well, I don't know if the cameras will be on me, because I'll probably be in the nosebleed seats. That'll be one way to tell if I have a chance at winning. Because they're not going to pause the Grammys for 12 minutes while I climb down the stairs and walk up to the stage. Too.
And you don't have a girlfriend with propecia that you can make a big stink about either.
Yeah. You know what? That's interesting. I'm going to look into that. Just
just in time. That's one of the best jokes I have ever written right there, folks. I just want to say that.
Well, you've been sick lately, so we're gonna give you a pass on the bad jokes. All right. Your skin and your jokes are off color, but come on, folks. That's all right. But yeah,
all right.
Hanging out there.
So I don't have any other stuff about what you're doing, and I'm just recovering from an ambulance ride.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm now a lifelong Seattle Kraken fan. We got a hockey team. I'm a lifelong fan because we've had a team for 1 year, so awesome. I just want credit. I figured if I'm going to look like a hockey player, I figured if I'm going to look like a hockey player, I might as well try to learn some of the lingo. And but we built a beautiful new arena, Climate Pledge Arena. It's very exciting. I call it Virtue Signal Arena, and because their whole slogan is carbon neutral by 2040, which is like not going to be hard considering we'll all be dead by then, but that's fine. It's a super green arena. Everything's recycled. They collect the rainwater from the roof and use it to make the ice in the hockey rink. Yeah. And they collect all the piss from the urinals and resell it as Bud Light. So it's
actually,
all green.
it's only the urine from the suite level. Okay, come on.
Okay.
You know, right. VIP suite level urine is recollected and then distributed as Bud Light. Yes. Right. We're proud of that, man. Come on.
Yeah, Spike's got the facts here. He's got the blueprints. Speaking of conspiracies, the Mariners are going to make the playoffs this year, maybe, possibly.
I guess it's got to be fake news. Tammy is hiking the Appalachian Trail because she thought they would suck, and so she didn't have anything to watch this summer.
Oh no! It's been 20 years, and every year starts the same, where you're like, I'm not gonna root for this team. We don't, and then inevitably, game 161, I'm pinning yarn to my wall, and I'm like, look, if the Astros lose and a meteor hits Yankee Stadium, I think we have a chance. And it ends up in tear. But we're 99% to make the playoffs this year, so that'll be fun.
So that's I'm living out here in Las Vegas, and I know nothing about sports odds. Does that mean that with the current standings, it's only a 1% likelihood that you could lose enough games to not make the playoff?
But let's not count the Mariners out on fucking up anything. It is entirely possible that they could blow it.
Yeah, they are. They've lost 3 straight to the lousy ass Angels, and they're now out of a playoff spot. So don't. Let's not sell our tickets before they're counted there.
But they're also. There's also the wild card, right? So they're doing well around all of baseball, right?
Yeah.
Of the almost good teams, we're one of the better ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally get that.
Yeah. I like baseball, but it's not a good sport for because I'm more of a stoner. It's not a good sport for stoners because adding marijuana to activities can make them better. Like listening to music or eating Cheetos, but if you go to a baseball game, sometimes when you smoke pot, time slows down, and all the time at a baseball game, time slows down. So you'll be in the 3rd inning, like, I've been here for 7 years. What the hell's going on? Every night is turn back the clock night. Baseball as a museum was a sport.
What's that?
I stomped
go
on
ahead.
He had a joke.
No, I was giving you.
I keep telling the Mariners to rebrand the Hit It Here Cafe, which is up above the right field bleachers, as the pot-friendly smoking zone of the stadium. It says Hit It Here. You just change the logo from red to green, and you can charge $20 a plate for nachos. I'm telling you. Now this is a winning idea.
Good idea.
As legal as it is.
Recycle that.
And it's practically mandatory. It's so legal in Washington. Do people do it inside the stadium? I guess they must. It's outdoors, right?
It's illegal, but if you have a what the kids call a vape pen, you can.
When you say kids, you mean
more
people,
discreet.
When you say kids, you mean people under 50, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
People that just want to press a button and get high. I don't like the vape pen because I feel like there should be some sort of shame attached to drugs. Just to press a button and get electronic high, it feels like too easy.
Yeah.
When you make heroin in pill form, you get Ohio. It's not good for people.
Right. When I was your age, we had to ping the seeds out. Yeah. Roll it up.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
These kids don't know how to roll doobies anymore.
They have no idea how hard it was.
We haven't done
this. I got sold oregano 5 times in junior high.
Can you tell we haven't done this in a while? But your jokes are awesome.
I'm having fun. Spike's riffing with me. You're just sitting back watching the show. I appreciate it.
What I'm trying to do is not step on you too much, which means I should just go take a shower and come back.
The problem is I can't see you, so I don't know when someone's about to jump in, and then there's a 3-second delay from when you talk to I hear it because of the internet. So we're doing the best. I will say you are
Emily's
the best
a radio
show.
pro. You know about this stuff, Emily, when there's 18 people on a show, right?
Yeah, we had 6, and we used to simulcast with TV, and there was a delay, and it would get chaotic.
Yeah, it always does. I understand that. Sometimes,
but I'm enjoying the free comedy show.
Sometimes when you do this, you have to actually create space and sit and wait, which, by the way, was a talent I think both Spike and Zip will say I never had before. But when we're all, for anybody listening, just sitting in a room, scattered across the country with headphones on, It's actually, it is a little challenging. It's a little sort of like an ESP thing that you have to do a little bit to just leave space. Like, for example, Zip's a drummer. His whole thing is not to overplay and not to crash with people.
Anyway, Bob, enough talking. It's my turn.
Exactly. So Zip will there's no way Zip will ask
Andrew's
a question.
the guitar player of the.
He's Yngwie Malmsteen. Yes.
Can I just do a 12-minute solo and you guys just sit back and enjoy the ride?
You know what, though? You gave me a
man.
good thought, Andrew. I think we ought to have some kind of, because we could do this on the internet, some kind of little program where we could chat and where someone could just click a button and says, I have a question. Because you're right, unlike the radio where we could all see each other, and even a lot of radio shows.
You used to have hand signals like a quarterback. You'd tap your wrist and then give Spike the finger, and that means shut up, and then...
Spike used to speak with his eyes a lot, I recall. And Zip, did you once throw a cup of hot coffee at me?
It's possible.
Yeah,
That's
happened.
No, that was you throwing it at me, Bob. I know this all blends together.
It could have been, yes. Yes.
Zip always doesn't quite remember until I get a witness, and then he's like, "Whoa!"
Hold it. Where was it? At AAF? I tossed the coffee?
Yeah, I was being a real dick once, and I deserved worse.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Once, yeah. It was
all
just that
worked
one.
out.
It was an isolated incident.
I was being a dick
all
for the
worked out.
8,000th time, if Andrew is correct. Anyway, all right, let's say hi to Emily a little bit, and everybody just stay here. And look, Emily is